Let's visit my odds and ends area. I call it my veggie patch, but I grow vegetables everywhere. This is just more of a random area. We have a date palm that I grew from one of the date seeds last year. It's doing pretty well. And in this old trough that I found, I have random lettuce, but also in the suitcase as well behind. Obviously I grow in a suitcase, obviously. We have in these three watermelons, yellow melons and sweet melons. And I sowed those the other day, and you can probably see they're just all coming up. Oh, there's some big ones here already. Already big. Lots of little ones growing everywhere. A few little weeds I can see, but mostly they are melons. And the same over here. Got quite a few melons here. I've grown them in here before. They did quite well because obviously they trail out and start growing all the way down the slope. Then here we have any tomatoes that are a bit more obscure, and Sherry from Black's Tropical Homestead gave me some pineapple tomatoes which I grew last year, and I've got some more growing this year. I did do a video on growing them the first time, and anyone who doesn't know what they look like, let me go around the side a bit. They're quite big. They have like this sort of bunch top on them. So there's a couple there. I don't think they go red. I think that's the idea of them that colour. So there's that, and there's two more plants next to them. Then over on this frame, I keep thinking about fencing this in and growing things on here, but I always end up just putting extra bits in. These again are special chilies and special peppers, and you know how I label a lot of my plants. And this is, I keep talking about my, I don't know if you can see the buds there. Yes, I keep talking about my nut trees. The owls come and drop these nuts in my garden, and I mulch them over winter and now plant them in soil. So that's the start of my nut tree. And then over in, these were rabbit cages. Oh, there's a pebbles. I'll show you pebbles. You seem to see Mr. Colin Waffles the most, but we've also got Fossil and Kit, and that's Pebbles. Hello Pebbles. These rabbit cages were here when we moved here, empty of rabbits, and they make great growing areas that I can put lids over when things are first coming up. And I've sown some radish in here. You know me, I'll grow things in lots of different places and areas, do comparisons. Here's another Rosa lettuce ready for the picking. I just pick the leaves and it continues to grow, and then I let it go to seed, so I get seeds for next year. And this was also from Sherry from Black's Tropical Homestead, and these are yellow carrots called Uzbek, and we had some gorgeous ones last year, so these aren't ready yet. No, and anyone who doesn't know, you eat the leaves of carrots. These are such delicious greens, they really are, and these are as nice as the carrots were really special ones. So thanks to Sherry for those. I've won them in one of her drawers, one of her giveaway drawers. And this is the area where we have two old baths. And this one I've always grown my asparagus. So this is the time of year we've had a lot. I always let some go again back to seed. I don't do a single thing with this. I either cut the asparagus and eat it or let some grow. I do nothing. Then it dies back down itself, and then sometimes I'll just pull out the dead ones as it grows back, but I let it go right down into the ground and then it regrows next year. So an easy thing to grow. And then lots of random pepper plants in there. This is new. I've planted another type of bean. As I say, we only call all the types of bean here, the green beans, we only call green beans. So it's another type of green bean, fatter than a runner bean. Here's Kit. Let's see, we've got the other cats coming to see you today. So there's Kit. So I made this frame, which I've done a separate video of. And let's see if anything's coming up here. Yes. Right in my shadow. Let me go around a different way. Yes, I think we have the first greens. Oh, there's a really good one. There. Oh, see that? Definitely there. There's a few like that coming up. As you see, I put eggshells in, which should stop slugs and snails. There was a random tomato plant just in front of it. There's Kit again for you. One going down the slope. This is a random bed in front that I haven't done anything with this year so far. It will probably be my odds and ends. And the random tomato plant growing very well in front of the bath. And on top of any poles, if they're under trees, I always put plastic cups on because our cats do sometimes fall out of the trees. Oh, and there's Mr. Colin Waffles. They're all coming out to see us today. Just got Fossil to come. And then we have a big bed here. And this is, I keep mostly for my sweet corn each year. There's a few other random things in there. But I have 4 types of sweet corn, so I grow 2 different types on here, half and half, where you see the poles. And then over on this bed here, I grow 2 different types on that bed, which we'll go to in a minute, which I call my horseshoe bed. So this was one of my only beds at one point. So I'll look at the sweet corn in a minute, but just before we go there, this is my random pottings. This is really for things to rehome. So you see some grapevines. These are only a few of my grapevines. The rest are in situ. But we know where we want these to go, but we're not ready yet for them. So there's 3 or 4 there. And then I've got fig trees to give away. A couple of olive trees in the cat bags to give away. Somehow I ended up with 2 cauliflowers over here and a couple of plants. And as you see, I've got a chard here that I'm letting go to seed. I've done a video on that before. This is something you can get so many seeds of. If you're a recipient ever of my monthly seed giveaway, you'll probably get some chard seeds. So let's go round. Have a look at the sweet corn coming up. I'm filming at the wrong time of day, so you've got all my shadow. So yes, there's lots of sweet corn coming up here. There's Mr. Colin Waffles. Got lots of sweet corn. And as I say, there's only one came up of this lot. I don't know why, because lots of it grew last time. But only one so far of those. Planted them all the same time, again to make comparison. There's a big chilli plant there. These need picking. These are my, what are these? These are artichokes and they need picking now. They come in about 3 waves. So that's when they're ready to deal with. Not my favourite job, just because it hurts my hands to do them. But they need dealing with. And they're just too big really. They get enormous in Cyprus. I'll give you an idea, there's my hand. So they get absolutely enormous here. So I need to do those. Loads of them. Loads and loads and loads. Loads and loads. And as I say, this is the first wave. That's why I need to deal with them. Because as you can see, the next lot's starting to come already. These need dealing with. There's loads and loads and loads and loads. I normally just dice them, literally just use the edible bit. I don't use the leaves. I do love when you eat the leaves and that, but time and money and cost of cooking them, I just dice the main part and put them in freezer bags, and we use it as a vegetable. So this is sweet corn number 3. We'll put what they are inserted, which one's a which. There's a random broccoli. There's also broccoli in this bed. This was always the broccoli bed, but when I first started sweet corn, I thought this was a good area because it's fairly dry up here. And there's quite a lot going on there. And then past one of our orange trees on my right, we have a chilli plant in there, not doing so well, but I didn't cut him down this year. And then my tyres, this is where my tyre area is. I know you'll get lost with my garden. There's a chilli plant. I've planted out tomatoes, more tomatoes. These are yellow tomatoes in the bag, they're just starting to come up. We have mint. This is one of 3 mints I have in my garden. And then we have, I've planted these out, these were from my indoor growing. These are some more cucumbers. I have 2 areas of cucumbers, actual proper cucumbers. And we have more tomatoes. Behind that you can see pet food bags and toilet cisterns full of more plants, mostly tomatoes, chilies, and I've just planted out peppers, but I see there's some tomatoes in there as well, which is fine. This is where my bed is that I had to put all the metal out again, move all the metal. I've picked all the dates that we didn't harvest off of the date palms. This is one of many date palms in our garden, and I'm leaving them to dry out. And I will use those for my seed giveaways because we don't need any more date trees or date palms on our land. So if you're the recipient of my community that's chosen of any month to receive my free seeds, then look on my community post and see if you've been selected for each month. And then you can ask for some date seeds. As you can see, these are nearly ready for harvesting. These are mandarins. The tree's absolutely full of them. Beautiful. I just love the smell of them. And I need to get those off before we get the blossom, which I love the blossom. We have blossom on these trees, orange trees, apples, mandarins like these, and apricot trees, and also for our almond trees. My favourite time of the year when you get all the blossoms and they all smell so lovely. Oh, and of course lemon trees. My little baby orange trees that we planted from seeds a few years ago. They're coming along. We've got quite a few of them in our fruit forest area. I have done a video of the start of our fruit forest, so do look at that. I'll try and put that in the links below. I don't often show much of this area because I don't really do much up here. This is above the hugel culture area, but these are some more of our olive trees that I've pruned right back. They were huge, so some more that I've pruned. You can see about the middle of the picture is all the hugel beds down the ridge. You can see how high our land is, hence why all the water, any rain, goes down to that area. We have nice trees and bushes up here. This has little red berries on, which I'll do a video on another time. Another olive tree, another carob tree. We've got so many carob trees on our land. Don't try and use those as markers. Got so many of them. Another carob tree there. Another big olive tree. I cut right back. This is our driveway beyond the fence here, if that helps you with your bearings. This is one of our fig trees. This for us is a small fig tree, but it's actually quite big. Another olive tree I've cut back. If you can hear the helicopters, that's because we had the bad earthquake here and they're doing sea watch today, because there was a small tsunami here from the earthquake and there can always be a secondary one. This is probably our biggest carob tree. Got Mr. Colin Waffles. Mr. Colin Waffles always likes to come and see where we're going, what we're doing. Colin! So you can see some more of our trees there. Our massive carob tree. We have many carob trees. As it's spring, we've got all the wild spring flowers out everywhere. Beautiful. Another one of the red berry trees, and that's our cave behind there, our tree cave, which I'll share with you another time. And we have tiers here of other fig and olive trees, and our big pine tree, one of our pine trees. This leads on to many more olive trees, another big palm tree, and then the walkway I made. I took these cuttings from our yucca fruit trees. Yes, they do grow fruit that you can eat. I've done a video on that as well. I made this little path edge that goes up to our apple orchard with more olive trees. Our olive trees are so random, they're absolutely everywhere. So many olive trees, and then we have our two main olive groves, the upper olive grove and the lower olive grove over the other side of our land. And lots of big trees, so it really is a beautiful location. And this is my avocado I grew from stone. And often forget my poor little papaya tree that I grew from seed. You don't often see him because he's in a different area entirely. So I just keep him moist. Sometimes he's greener than other times, depending on the season. But I'm training him up this arch. And this is the patio area where he is. And that's a little mini tour of some random plants and trees. There's much more land to take you on a walkabout, so we'll do that in another episode. Until next time, Meraki.